What's up YouTube, Dal here from Zephyr Wargames, and today I am bringing you a concept for branded Gate Guardian. That's right, I finally was able to pick up my cards for Gate Guardian, and one of the concepts I'd been working on or even kind of theorizing about was a branded alternative. There are a lot of pure versions for Gate Guardian out there, and the deck does do quite well, so I thought, well, let's have a look to see how it operates with branded. So with all of that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell and subscribe. Getting this video above 50 likes in the first 24 hours will show me that you want to see more Gate Guardian content, and I will bring that for you, whether that be pure, whether that be test hands, you name it, I'll go over it. So, we'll start off with the Gate Guardian cards. As you can see, they do take up a fairly decent chunk of the deck. It is a 50 card deck. I'm still working on where those other 10 cards can be cut and work around from there. So, start off with double Sanga of Thunder alongside double Kazujin and double Suijin. Now, to get these to the graveyard is where you're going to be able to utilize most of their playability, because your big guy can use them as banish fodder to fusion. But the idea is that you have Elemental Hero Prisma that does become these names. You've got the ability to use Branded Fusion to send Sagna to the graveyard. You've got Magician's Souls to send Kazujin, and then Suijin is the only one that doesn't really fit into a route, but it does work out quite nicely, and balancing with 2 of each of these gives you access to their other fusion monsters, which I can kind of understand why they say you have to banish the cards you control to summon them, but I would have loved them to all be like the big boss monster, where it's like you can banish them from hand, field, or grave, which would have been insane. Then, of course, we are playing 2 of the Labyrinth Heavy Tank. Now, I'm playing around with 2 or 3. I only own 2 at the moment, but with this card, what it is it's your normal summon of the deck that allows you to place a Kazujin, Sanga, or Suijin from your hand or deck into your face-up spell and trap zone as continuous spells. So that's how you get your Suijin from the deck to the board in order to contact fuse away. So it is a very important route to do that. However, you do play the field spell, which is absolutely nuts, which we'll get to in a minute, which does allow you to do that as well. Then, of course, we are playing triple Shadow Ghoul. So for any of you that have been fans of the original anime, Gate Guardian was one of the best episodes, like where it was Yugi and Joey going through the maze, magical hats, just everything like that. It was just such a great episode, and I'm so glad that Gate Guardian finally got some support, or additional support, that is, anyway. So this one is you get to discard this card to add a Labyrinth Wall card from your deck to the hand. At the start of the damage step, if your opponent's monster battles while you control a Labyrinth Wall card, you can banish this card from the graveyard to destroy that opponent's monster. You can only use each effect once per turn, so it's a nice way of taking a 1-for-1 kind of shot and dealing with that. And that's where the brand new Labyrinth Wall Shadow comes in. This card is mental for the deck. So monsters cannot attack the turn they are summoned, except monsters whose original levels is 5 or higher. Well, quite thankfully, all of the branded fusion monsters are above level 5, so they are unaffected by this card. You can place one of your Sangla, Kazujins, or Suijins that is banished, or in your hand or deck face up into your spell and trap zone as continuous spell. At the start of your opponent's battle phase, you get to target one monster your opponent controls with less than 1600 attack and destroy it. So that's insane. If they try to put any little monsters on the board, they're like, yeah, I'm going to go poke away at that monster. You go, yep, nope, go. And then the best thing about this is when you're banishing these off of Sacred Sword of 7, if you're Foolish Burying them off of Magician's Souls or Branded Fusion, Labyrinth Wall is going to be able to recycle them for you, which is really important. So that's it for the Gate Guardian monsters. Now the little bridge that is insane for Gate Guardian right now, and is also going to be a little bit better for the, I believe they're called the Metanoids, which we get in the next core set, and that is Elemental Hero Prisma. So we're going to be playing 2 of him and 3 of a Hero Lives, because it's basically a free summon, and off the back of a Hero Lives, because you're paying half your life points, it does work out nicely with the Ryoku Guardian, which I'll talk about in a second. So the reason this is so good is as long as you control no face-up monsters, you pay half your life points, especially on a level 4 or lower E-Hero from your deck, which is of course Prisma. Prisma has the ability as a soft once per turn, so per copy, to reveal a fusion monster from your extra deck, send a fusion monster who's specifically listed on it from your deck to the graveyard, and this card names become that. So that's where you can get a Suijin to the graveyard, you can then contact fuse as well, you can recycle the Suijin. That's how you kind of cover all 3 bases. So one card, rather than trying to one card to lead to all 3, which it can do, it's 1 card per element of a Gate Guardian play. Then we've got double attack, wind and thunder. So this is the quick play ability that as long as you control a Gate Guardian monster, which you will do because all of your cards luckily say Gate Guardian in their text, you get to target a card on the field and destroy it. During the main phase, you get to banish this card from the graveyard to add one of your Sanga, Kazujins, or Suijins that is banished in your deck to your hand. So again, it allows you to recycle it, and you can only use each effect once per turn. Then, of course, we do have the Ryoku Gaurdian. So if your life points are lower than your opponent's, nice and easy, target one monster you control with Gate Guardian in its text or original name, halve your opponent's life points. Then that monster gains attack equal to your opponent's life points as it currently stands. So of course, if you halve your opponent's life points at 8,000, they're going to gain 4,000 attack, which is absolutely mental. And then on top of that, if that wasn't enough, you get to banish it from the graveyard to add one of your Sangas, your Kazujins, or Suijins that are banished or in your deck to your hand. And that's why Magician's Souls comes in, because sending these just to get free draw fodder and then recycling your materials is just as important. But the idea is you can switch this to be an OTK deck because you're going to be utilising Branded Fusion. You've got a fallback. You're not just going to get ashed and game ended. And it's really, really kind of cool. You've got Sacred Sword of 7. Now, there are a couple of different level 7s in the branded side of the deck if you wanted to maximise the consistency of this. But the idea is that you're going to have 6 targets with 2 draw copies off the back of it. Because when you look at it, you've got the Albion Dragon if you play it. And, of course, you've got Ad Libitum for the branded side and Despia side. But mainly, you've got your 2 Suijins, Kazujins, and Sangas. And the last card is the Prey of the Jirai Gumo. So you special summon it as a normal monster. It is still treated as a trap card to your main monster zone in the same column that this card is in. Then you can destroy one monster your opponent controls in this card's column. You can banish this card from the graveyard to again add a banished Sanga, Kazujin, or Suijin or in your deck to the hand. So search out your pieces, and once you've got all of your pieces out of the deck, it's all about recycling them from the banished zone and everything else. So that's it for the Gate Guardian cards. Just quickly for the Magician's Souls package, we've got 2 Souls, 1 Illusion, and 2 Prep. Because 9 times out of 10, when you activate Illusion of Chaos, you're going to put Illusion of Chaos back into the deck, so you can then use Prep again. Magician's Souls is rarely going to be sending Illusion. You're going to be sending your Kazujin first, and then get your draws. You're going to summon it and do everything you need to. So this ratio is kind of just, I believe, is the lowest you can get away with, and that's why it's still a 50 card deck, because I'm trying to keep it at its base minimum. Then for the branded, so we'll go off with the Albaz cards first. So 2 Albaz, 2 Mericoriar. Now the reason I've gone with 2 of this is because I was like, you know what? If I activate my Branded Fusion and I've already got access to get the Sanga to the graveyard or anything else, then I can send the Mericoriar and that's going to get me into the Rimbrum. And the reason I like that is because if you go, quite simply, this plus Rimbrum is quite nice because you've got negates of spells and traps up to, I believe this one is twice. Yeah, twice per turn. So you've got 2 spell and trap negates, plus you'll also have the ability of your Rimbrum to bounce a card. So it's an option, and then the Mericoriar is negatable, or gives you that negate for stuff like Nibiru and everything else. Plus, if it gets banished, is how it searches out your other cards of Kit and Cartesia. The reason I've gone with, obviously, Cartesia I would like to think is pretty straightforward and simple. This card can just special summon itself down while it's got Albaz and then Contact Fuse, and then can do it during either player's turn. So even if you choose not to Contact Fuse using her, and you choose to Contact Fuse with something else, you're good to go. Keep in mind that I believe all of the Gate Guardians need to be special summoned by banishing the materials you control. I don't believe that they can be just normal poly, but I could be wrong. Kit is in here because we're not playing the Bystials, so Kit is in here in order to get you access to your Branded Lost, and then keeping in mind that even if you get this after you've gone through Branded Fusion, as long as you've got access to Kit, Kit is then going to be able to Contact Fuse everything, or your cards will Contact Fuse, triggering Branded Lost, and that gives you access to your Mericoriar or a Cartesia. So you're just increasing your access to additional components of the branded side. I've then gone for the minimal engine of the Despia package. You've got one Aluba, one Ad Libitum, and the one Tragedy. Obviously, if you want to get to Aluba because you don't have a normal summon, then you Branded Fuse into this. Aluba then, of course, will give you the ability to search out your Branded Opening, Branded in Red, or Branded Lost. So we're minimising the engine on this one, but you're going to increase your consistent routes to get everything you need to. Another bridge between the two components is, of course, Fusion Deployment, because Fusion Deployment not only can it get Albaz and Cartesia from the deck, but it can also get you access to any of your Gate Guardian pieces. And again, that's probably what you want to prioritise first, and then you're using this as a supporting engine to help it out a bit more. Branded Opening, like if you're able to open up Hero Lives and Branded Opening, you're just like GG Dreamland, because you activate Hero Lives first. That will get you your Prisma. Prisma can then become a component for your Gate Guardian. Then you'll be able to activate Branded Opening, maybe discarding another Gate Guardian component, and that will give you your Aluba, which gives you into Branded Fusion, and then Branded Fusion can get you into your final piece of your Gate Guardian kind of elements, or however you see fit. Trill Branded Fusion, like, the way I thought this is a lot of the Gate Guardian builds were bouncing between like Link monsters, XYZ monsters every now and then. I was like, you know what, 9 times out of 10, if you're going to lock yourself under Fusion Deployment, there's no reason not to play like a Branded Fusion. And the last two cards is the one Lost and the one Red. Not only does Lost protect all of your monsters, give or take, or most of your fusion monsters, but then Branded in Red, of course, is a very good card that gets you into Guardian Chimera. Obviously, it can't help you get into your Gate Guardian cards, but it does still give you that ability to use your Gate Guardian, more so your Sanga, as fusion material from your hand in order to kind of push into a Guardian Chimera or into any of the Despia fusions like Quintiris or, of course, the Masquerade Dragon. Even though Masquerade isn't technically a Despia fusion monster because it doesn't have Despia in the name, it still might as well be. So that's it for the main deck. Like I said, it's a 50 card deck at the moment. I'm trying to cut down on the ratios to figure out what I could probably cut. I want still Gate Guardian to be the main focus of the deck, which is why I haven't cut the pieces down, and then I'm kind of working it away that way. So for the Gate Guardian fusions, we've got 2 wind and water. This is your best one. This is your twice per turn negate a spell or trap or its effect. So they all must be, or the little ones, which is the thunder and wind, and then thunder and water, as long with the wind and water, is they all must be special summoned from the extra deck by banishing the above cards you control. So once per chain, this one lets you negate a spell or trap twice per turn. You can only use each effect up to twice per turn, and then if this face-up special summon card in its owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card, you get to special on one of your banished Kazujins or Suijins, and the exact same will apply for both of these. The Thunder and the Wind has the ability to add a spell or trap from your deck to the hand that mentions Sanga, Kazujin, or Suijin, Suijin, sorry, so it has to mention all 3. You can only use each effect to this card once per turn, and if this face-up card again is, you get to target one of your banished Sangas or Kazujins. And then the Water and Thunder, again, is actually really kind of cool. So this one, annoyingly, lets you target once per chain, quick effect, target one face-up monster your opponent controls, chain is attacked to 0 until the end of the turn, and you get to use this effect twice per turn. So again, you basically get to use it as many pieces as in the artwork. So this is to reduce your opponent's attack, so it's basically like a quick effect Quintiris, which is really nice. And then this one is, like I've said, negating spells and traps is insane. So... And then, of course, you've got the one big Mac Daddy Gate Guardian combined. I feel this could have been a lot better effect-wise because, like, it's targeting effect, which it does happen, but I suppose if it's Omni-Negate, it gets a little bit damaging. But again, must be special summon from the extra deck by banishing the above cards from your hand, field, and or graveyard, so it's a lot easier to summon. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a card or cards you control, quick effect, negate the effect, and if you do, destroy that card. You can only use this effect up to twice, so 3 times per turn. If this face-up special summon card in your owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you get to special summon a level 11 or lower Gate Guardian monster from your deck or extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. So that's how you can cheese these out. I don't really want to be going for like the Gate Guardian itself because it's ultimately just a bit of a brick. It would have been nice to have got the pieces as retrains, but the fusions are still really, really kind of cool. And then for the branded engine, it should be relatively straightforward on this one. So double Mirror Jade, 1 Dust Dragon. So Dust Dragon, funnily enough, can actually send the Sangna from the deck as well. So you've got another route to get to it. Double Albion, 1 Lubellion, 1 Rimbrum, 1 Quintiris, Masquerade, and Guardian Chimera. Now, I'm trying to find which one of these I could cut down to get a Dracus Depelia in, because the best thing about this is Dracus Depelia, if you're going to try and summon it off of Lubellion, it actually lets you put one of your Gate Guardian fusions back so you can recycle them and go again, which would be really, really cool and really, really important. But keep in mind, again, it can only go into a level 8, so that's where you've kind of got to make sure your levels are working, which is why there's not as great a direct synergy between the branded and those, but you're basically using the branded cards to utilize these fusion monsters, and then use the Gate Guardian cards to utilize these fusion monsters, and they just work quite nice in tandem, sending pieces, looping pieces around, and kind of working that way. Anyway, I hope this has given you a couple of ideas of your own particular build in regarding to Gate Guardian in general, or maybe just Gate Guardian with branded as well. I think it's really, really fun, really, really kind of cool to kind of, like I said, get Gate Guardian support, and I wanted to produce a video for you guys that was different to the ones that are currently out there. I think a lot of them are pure Gate Guardian, which does work incredibly well, and that does give you space for more hand traps, more control cards, and everything else that you see fit. But I kind of thought, you know what, branded is really fun right now and is really hot, and I wanted to see how it operate with Gate Guardian and give it as more relevant competitive edge as I could visually kind of kind of see and put together. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. If you do have any questions at all, by all means, let me know in the comments down below. I will be more than happy to answer them for you and go from there. But for now, as absolutely always, guys, stay safe and, of course, happy dueling.